for using like notes or you're going to record it, it's going to be useful today. So we're going to be going over the holes of the skull from the internal view, starting from the anterior part to the posterior part. Sounds good? But so one of the reasons why I have you guys use fuzzy sticks is when we ask hole questions, we'll usually have like a fuzzy stick going through like a hole, and we'll ask you this structure going through this hole is, you know, designated which hole. That's the kinds of questions that we'll be asking. So one of the first things that we're going to be showing to you, so these first two holes, right, it's called the optic canal. Very good. And one of the ways you guys are going to confirm whether it's going to be called the optic canal or not is, do you see where the fuzzy stick is coming out of? Right, it's coming out of the yeah, which kind of makes sense, right? Because the optic canal, it's a canal that carries which cranial nerve? Optic. Yeah, optic nerve. Do you see like the out, the second O, the second word?
Yes.
Out, O. Optic canal, optic nerve is what passes through it, which innervates the eye. Good job. But so that's the first two, first pair on the front, right? The next holes, I like to call them the rose, like the flower, but rose without the E. So it's ROS. And the way they look like is they go down laterally, and they're all still part of that sphenoid bone. Like, you see this black bone here? It's just a sphenoid bone. But there's, let's see if I can show it to you. It's like 1, 2, 3. Do you see the holes here?
Yes.
Can you guys see it's like 1, 2, 3? So that's the rows. 1, 2, 3. In which the O, ROS, the O is the biggest,
Ovale.
which is oval shaped, and it's called ovale. Yeah. So what I would do is I would spot the ovale, the oval shaped, large oval shaped hole. If you go up one, that's gonna be the R, rotundum, and if you go down one, it's gonna be S. It's called spinosum. Very good. So rose, rotundum, ovale, or spinosum. See if you can get comfortable with the words. I'll try to practice with you, like quiz you, like the carpals and stuff later. But anyway, so we have optic canal, rose. Again, do you guys remember what sits right here? The pituitary gland, right? That was the sella turcica, right? Good, right? But just lateral to the pituitary gland, we actually have a set of holes. And do you guys see? Like, I have this pipe cleaner going through these holes right next to the sella turcica. You can see like these holes are going through it, right? And these holes, like, you can think of it as like this is a little seat, like a saddle, and like a cowboy, if he sits down, like his legs would be going through that hole. Legs, L, for foramen lacerum.
Oh, lacerum.
Lacerum. Lacerum. So it's like legs going through the lacerum, right next to the sella turcica, right?
Is it on Dublin?
It might. I don't think it's on the Dublin sheet. You actually have to write that one down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I would include that somewhere.
What's it called again?
Lacerum, foramen, lacerum, Lacerum. Lacerum. Cool. Hopefully it's not too bad yet. You have the optic canal, the rose, and the lacerum, and then, of course, we have this gigantic hole. I'm actually going to go back anterior. So the most posterior hole is this foramen magnum. But do you guys see anterior to it? We have this giant jelly bean shaped hole. Can you guys see it? Let's see if I can point to it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. It's this hole here. I don't know if you guys could see it. Can you see it? It's jelly bean shaped hole, right? Do you guys know which hole might that be? It's the jugular. Yeah, you're right. It's called the jugular. So the jugular foramen, right, is the big jelly bean shaped hole. Right. But I'm gonna see if you guys can see it. But can you guys see in between the jugular and the foramen magnum? Can you guys see there's like a small hole? You see that? There's a small hole right here. There's a small hole. I don't know if you guys can figure it out.
This one? Oh, yeah.
These really small holes. Yeah, really small holes. Just between the jugular and the foramen magnum, right? And that's cranial nerve number 12 that passes through it.
The hypoglossal?
So that's the hypoglossal foramen, which has hypoglossal nerve passing through it.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? So if we ask you on the exam, right? Like I have this pipe cleaner and it's through that very tiny hole, and I ask you like what goes through this hole, you guys could say cranial nerve number 12 or hypoglossal nerve.
So either the number or the name counts?
Good question. Yeah. Usually we ask for the actual word.
The actual word? Okay.
Hypoglossal. But it's important that you know the number just to get you comfortable with it. And then last but not least, do you guys see? So remember I was telling you guys about the mountain region? It's really hard. It has middle ear bones in it. Do you guys remember what that portion was called? Petrous portion. Yeah, I erased it, sorry. It's called the petrous portion, but you guys see going into it, do you guys see this hole?
Oh, yeah.
This like canal? Except it's not called the canal because it actually doesn't go all the way through. There's a blockage. Like there's a block in the center because we have like middle ear bones there, right? And things that have like a partial tunnel, is called a meatus. Meatus. M-E-A-T-U-S. Meatus.
Is it the external auditory?
This one's the internal auditory meatus. And interestingly enough, we have the external meatus on the outside, which is your ear hole. Right? Your ear hole would be the external auditory meatus. And the internal and the external auditory meatus like head towards each other, but there's a blockage in the middle. Does that make sense?
Okay, so without it will make the canal.
So it would be like a canal, but there's a blockage.
Yeah, okay.
So instead of being called a canal, it's called a meatus.
Okay.
So
Internal
out and internal inside.
Okay.
Exactly.
External meatus, internal.
Internal, external auditory meatus. Sounds good? Alright, I don't know if you guys want to take a break from recording just to save space.